IF in them done brilliant for us. But we are just hoping. We are just hoping, say, he would continue what he started with Asante Kotoko and maybe take it to the next level. Because to be the #1 goalkeeper for Asante Kotoko, whilst there's a figure like Janla there, and what I say, Felix and now
academic graduates passing through Wafa, Accra Lions.
So it's not been easy for him. But I mean, thank God Albert Okodu Black Star, and I'm sure you put in a lot of work to ensure so we do on because it's not easy for a goalkeeper, a local goalkeeper, to be selected.
Yeah, like but you guys have ambushed me, and I thought you were coming to discuss FA Cup. Unfortunately, we have diverted to Frederick Asari's.
It's all for the love of Ghana football.
Yeah. You know, he's done so well. He's passed through the ranks from the under 17, like Riley said, to under 20, under 23, to the local blasters, and now to the main blasters. I think this is the right time for him, and I think it's the best time for him actually. Let's see what he brings on board. He was called up not because because he's so super in the Ghana Premier League, because the start even favor the likes of Benjamin Asari and co. But Coach Otuado watch qualities of a player. He watch the qualities of a goalkeeper, and he sees that among the keepers in Ghana, Frederick Asari stands tall when it comes to the kind of goalkeeping expertise that he wants. And looking at his experience from Accra Lions, Division 2, qualified them to Division 1, captain them to Premier League, captain them in the Premier League. It has been a roller coaster for him.
No, but Albert, I'm not cutting. You have seen it's good.
Yeah.
When first did you spot Frederick, and when you saw him, what was running through your mind?
I spotted him when he was in the secondary school. I watched one of the games, and
Which school was that?
Nungwa Secondary School.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yes,
Nusek.
Yes, we attended Nusek.
Oh, okay.
So I watched the game and I was, wow, this keeper looks very modern. It doesn't look like the old keeper.
Fashion goalkeeper.
Yeah, this is somebody who has his technique is very different. So I developed interest in him, and after the game I spoke to him. By then I was running the club, so I invited him to come and join the club. Later, and then he joined Wafa. From Wafa, he came back, and then I took him to Accra Lions. Accra Lions spent almost 6 years there. Then I brought him to Asante Kotoko.
So he was close to joining House of Folk because of 500 Ghana cedi. The likes of Akambi and Olote couldn't sign for the Kasari. He moved to Asante Kotoko.
I have no idea about that.
That is the information I'm giving to viewers.
Okay.
I know everything about the Kasari situation. Because of 500 Ghana cedi, he couldn't sign for House of Folk. Akambi and Olote have to leave the player to go to Kotoko because of 500 Ghana cedi.
You are making a
He's
stranger
the
line.
manager here,
You are
but
making a stranger line, and I hope tomorrow you can defend this.
Of course,
in an open forum.
When Dr. Nyaho calls, I'm sure he can defend himself.
Very good.
Maybe he's privy to an information that I do not know.
Unless you tell me, Nanedu, you are speaking on TV, what you are saying is not true.
But he said he can't be a witness. He doesn't have an idea of what you are saying. So maybe you have your information from a different source. So once you can defend it,
the player was demanding 3,500 Ghana cedi.
Please.
And the House of
But was present when the negotiation was on.
I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist.
So that is what your
my source was telling me.
So he's saying that is what his source tells him.
And I'm a principal actor, and I'm saying it's not the truth.
It's not the truth. Okay. Then let's move on. Move from further. So Asante Kotoko, he joins Asante Kotoko. He comes to meet Danlad Ibrahim at the club, and you were still confident that you make way.
We were aware of the competition he was coming to face. We had no reason not to believe in ourselves. And Frederick, even at Accra Lions, he met a very tall Senegalese keeper who was so good. You guys don't know him. He's called Mansour. And those who monitored the Medina Division 2, I think 7 or 8 years ago, they'll tell you who that keeper was. Very tall, almost 197. Very, very tall. And he was so good. Asari usurped him also. Yes, so he meeting, goalkeepers with such qualities is not something new to him. I believe for the past 10 years, I believe there's not been any keeper like Asari in our local league. Yes.
That is a bold statement.
I'm telling you. And if people will be fair to us without taking, size, if Asari had not joined Kotoko, I'm not sure a lot of people will know him. But he was very good and exceptional even at Accra Lions and even at Kotoko. It's unfortunate we don't give eyes to this. I don't call them lower clubs. But but if those who know Asari very well from his Division 2 days, they'll tell you he was called to the under 20 when he was playing in Division 2. He was part of that 2019 batch which went to Niger with Kudus and Co. He was part of that team. Okay. So this is not somebody who has been new to the system. Those who know him very well from his even. Do you remember Ethel Rising Stars?
Yeah, I remember very well.
They were supposed to go to Korea. He was the number 1 keeper then. They were supposed to go to Korea. During that year, the Ebola came. So, they couldn't travel because of the Ebola. So this is somebody who was transited at every point of his career.
So he knows the system.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That those who know him, and even that one, he was scattered by the legendary Afrani. So you could imagine you could see the trajectory of his development. So it's not somebody who is new to the system. It's just unfortunate when he joined Kotoko before, people got to know him. Hey,
of course, once you play for Kotoko, has the eyeballs will be on you.
But even when he was at Accra Lions, he was invited to local blasters. So you should tell his quality.
Well, so that is Frederick Asari, and he works with Albert Porte there. Now he's had the opportunity of tasting the Black Stars, and I'm sure that would be a big motivation for him to go on and do bigger things. He's a very good goalkeeper. So do we have lots of good goalkeepers on the local scene? The likes of Benjamin Asari with Great Olympics, Felix Shea with Mediema, Agbasi, who plays for Dreams FC. A lot of top goalkeepers in our league, and I'm sure with Otuado at the helm of affairs. All these players, if they prove beyond all reasonable doubt that they are capable of being in the Black Stars, so Tuado would actually give them that opportunity. But let's come back home and talk about the MTN FA Cup. The 2023-2024 quarterfinals started yesterday, where in Swaterman were in action against Karela. The game went into extra time, where Swaterman got a one goal that aided them to qualify for the semi-final. Now they await the winner of that game between Dreams FC and Soccer Intellectuals in the semi-final. But it was a good one, and they do yesterday for Swaterman. They started the league on a brilliant note. Things have not really shaped up for them, but to qualify for the semi-finals of the FA Cup, Eric Alagedede must be on cloud 9.
Even before the start of yesterday's game, remember Marcel Knodu was speaking to Senior Prince Anai, and he was talking about when Karela came into Nswatre in the first round to beat them in the Ghana Premier League. So a very bad on the side of Nswatre to lose 2 consecutive games in the Premier League or against them in the FA Cup 2 against Karela United. So they did everything possible to get the maximum 3 points. So they know what is at stake, and that is the reason why after full 90 minutes during the extra time, they managed their way to get the only goal in the game. So I would say it was a good win for Nswatraman. What a time to score in the extra time for them to progress to the semi-final stage of the competition. It looks like last season they were there, and this particular season too, they managed themselves to get there. And when you look at the kind of results they've gotten in recent times, the motivation from the owner, Ignatius Bafu, who are a typical politician in this country, try to do everything possible to see the best out of Nswatraman. They deserve to be in the semi-final stage of the competition.
Albert, you know Osei very well. He was with Great Olympics some time back. Yeah. He was the one that scored the only goal for Nswatraman. Left back with a lot of power and pace, and it was a beautiful goal. To beat Karela and qualify for the semi-final is big for Nswatraman.
Yes, you know, Eric is a very good administrator. I've worked with him for some years, and when he was recruiting for Nswatraman, I know he had a very big heart and big eye for quality players. I'm not surprised Nswatraman won that game. In fact, I was expecting them to win in regulation time, and my only worry was how they were able to. I mean, they dropped a bit in the league when they started very
They
well.
started the league on a brilliant note.
But you know, I don't use the word smaller clubs. These clubs, whenever they rise to a certain level, it's very difficult for them to handle. That's why.
Is it pressure?
It's a competition. That's how the competition has been made. That's why I respect Samatex so much. That even up to now, they are still at the top. And in Nswatraman, I expected more from them. But you know, some of the players, fatigue, injury will come in, the mentality will change. And you know, whenever you tell them that, oh, we don't want to win the league, we just want to stay in the league and participate. When that thing enters into the players, I mean, their ears, they become relaxed. And I think at the point they become very complacent, especially at their home grounds. As folk won there, I think one other club also won there, and they give up. I mean, many points at their home grounds.
And even in the second round of the league, they've dropped a lot of points, which Coach Maxwell Kunedu attributes to the fact that a lot of these players are actually fasting. They are taking part in the Ramadan.
No, they lost 2 games at home.
Yeah. It's not only. I don't want us to find excuses when it comes to fasting, because every club has. I mean, some number of Muslim players. So I don't think
he says he has about 8 Muslim players.
And should Samatex also mention their list? Should Kotoko mention their list? So we don't have to go there. These are natural occurrences when it comes to football. It's part of it. That is why someone like Alex Ferguson will not sign African players because of the African Cup, because he knows that when he signs them and he needs them in January, February,
they will not be around.
They will not be around. So these are decisions you have to make. But I'm not saying that because of that we have to discriminate against Muslim players. It is not right.
So every team has a number of Muslim players in there. You can't use that as an excuse.
At all. We shouldn't even try, so that we'll create some religious, I mean, differences within the play.
But like, someone said even Christians fast. A Christian player can be playing for no year fasting.
Yes, but you don't know. Yes, so we don't have to. I mean, take that into consideration. They should agree that in football, like, we rise and fall, and we have good days, we have bad days. It's good they are taking advantage of the FA Cup, and they are now in the semis. I would love to see them winning, because the big guns are not in there. The Vienna Stars, House of Folk, Kotoko, even Mediama. I think Mediama is
Mediama are also out.
Yes, so it's a big chance.
Samatex are not in there.
It's a big chance for the likes of Bofoakwa, Tano, Legon Cities, Bechem United, Dreams FC again to make amends in the FA Cup. So they should take advantage. I mean, the FA Cup comes with qualifying to the CAF Confederations Cup, and we all see what Dreams FC is doing.
Okay, so that is the fixtures on your screens there. We started yesterday with Nswatraman getting a 1-0 victory over Karela. Today we'll see Bofoakwa take on Skyy FC. That is the game we'll be showing you live on your screens. Then there's also Legon Cities against Bechem United. Dreams FC's game against Soccer Intellectuals has been rescheduled, and the FA will come out with the date where that one will be played. So already we know that Nswatraman are into the semi-final, and they are super excited knowing that this could go their way. So today it is Skyy FC who are taking on Bofoakwa. Skyy FC in Division 1 last season were in the semi-final, back again, just one step ahead of them to qualify for the semi-final. That is enough motivation, Aneju.
Yeah, obviously, you know, when you monitor the performance of this Skyy FC team right from Division 1, they've been a powerhouse in that particular zone. They were close to qualify for the Premier League last season until a point deduction that brought Nations FC to the Premier League. Well, remember last season, they have top teams in that particular sector of the Division 1 league, and Nations was part, Skyy FC was part, you know, the likes of Ebusua Drafts, they are all in the same league, trying to get one team getting promotion into the Premier League. So for them to be on top of the league that period for a very long period until later on Nations FC overtook them in that particular, you know, league log to come into the Premier League. So it tells you they have a powerful team doing well in Division 1. They produce some great players in recent times. This striker for Samates,
Baba Musa
was one of the key players. In fact, one of the highest scorers in Division 1 last season, and now playing for Samates. So they've produced some quite good players in the Division 1, and they've been consistent at this stage of the FA Cup. So no wonder, as it stands now, 8 teams in the quarterfinal stage, we still see Skyy FC in that particular one of 8 in the FA Cup. So they can qualify ahead of Bofoakwa Tano, but once you are playing at home, you have a slight advantage over the others. But the Skyy FC team I've seen in recent times, they are a powerful house when it comes to the FA Cup.
Albert, in about the first 3 games that Bofoakwa played in the Ghana Premier League, they were more or less one of the best sides that we have seen. They started making Sunyane a fortress. Then they started dropping off. First, it was an issue of hooliganism that saw them being banned from the Sunyane Coronation Park. And after they returned to Sunyane Coronation Park, they've never been the same team. Even though they have a striker in Dauda Saka who has scored 8 goals in the league so far, they've not been the same team. Frimpong Manso was their head coach. He had to leave. Now John Eduafo. What happened to Bofoakwa Tano? Because they came with a lot of fire after 16 years.
You know, Mutala, you just sum up everything. Football is about coaching, and if you have a coach who was doing well and then boom, you sack the coach, it becomes a problem. He started pre-season with you, help you in recruitment and all that, and then you sack the coach. When you sack the coach, you are going to start from ground zero, and then hooliganism. You and I know that. Even if you play at home, look how difficult it is to win. Look how it is difficult to raise revenue in terms of gate proceeds. And here's a case, you go on violating the FIFA regulations and you are being banned from your favorite home grounds. You have to play away from home. Your costs involved, your fans will not be coming, and you know some of these things. It hurts. And they've not been very good in terms of managerial decisions. And I know of their cases involving some of their old players that they have neglected or they have sacked. And they have issues at the player status committee. At a point, one of the cases came to me for me to help the player. So we have to understand that football is holistic. We can't have a situation where you take the Premier League for granted. And you know how difficult it is for them to come from Division 1 to the Premier League. They spent almost 14 or 17 years.
16 years.
16 years in the Division 1 league before coming. Yeah. So this is the greatest opportunity to cement their status as the soccer apostles of Ghana football. This is a big club. If you care to know, Bofoakwa Tano is one of the big clubs in BA. And not only BA, they have produced a lot of quality players for Ghana as well. So I get surprised whenever they muddy the waters. And you know, their dressing room was even built by the fans. The fans mobilized resources to build the dressing room to meet the club licensing requirements.
Because they wanted to see Bofoakwa play as Sunyane at all costs.
That is how important the fans revere the club. That's why they have been supporting the club all this while. So their leaders should take this in mind and make sure Bofoakwa remains in the Premier League.
But it looks like things are falling apart totally for them.
It is not over. We have about 11 games to go. They can pick it up. I believe now they are picking up points. They pick points against Asofok. They are picking up, and
they were able to beat out you too.
Exactly, and they are back to their favorite grounds. So I believe things can change if they are very consistent. Now they have an opportunity in the FA Cup, going to meet a stronger Division 1 side in the name of Skyy FC. If you know Skyy FC, they won the Elite Cup, the Elite Division 1 Cup. This is a cup which was made for Division 1 winners across the zones. And they won it, I think, 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
The Division 1 Super Cup.
Yes, and they've been consistent in the Zone 2 league. At the point, they nearly qualified until Nations FC won a protest. That should tell you the quality that they have. And
currently they are third in the Division 1 league.
And they've been very consistent. They have quality players, and one of them is Baba Musa, who has been very phenomenon for Samates. So Skyy FC is not a pushover, and Bofoakwa Tano should not see them as let us, push them away somewhere. Let's brush them away somewhere. This is a very big and tough customer, and they have to be very careful.
Now, if you look at the opponent that Skyy FC had to go past to get to this stage, you would say that they've faced some big guns. They started the round of 64 beating Samatex, who are on top of the Ghana Premier League at the moment. They've beaten Mediema as well in the round of 32. Then in the round of 16, they beat Elmina Sharks on penalties as compared to Bofoakwa's journey as well. Bofoakwa also started in the round of 64, beating Oxford. Then they beat Brekum City and War Power. It seems Samatex have faced the toughest opponents getting to this stage.
I always talk about the lack of the draw. But in this case, I think Skyy FC have done a great job. Apart from the team that they met in the round of 16.
Yeah.
The rest of the
that
teams,
is Elmina Sharks.
The rest of the teams are Premier League side. I remember that game against Mediema when they won at Daboase, and of course winning against Samatex again at the same venue. So I always talk about the lack of the draw, but beating two Premier League side. And 2 seasons ago, Elmina Sharks were playing in the Ghana Premier League. So it tells you there's a team are more rich experience in the local scene, much more than Skyy FC. So for you to beat those two teams to qualify to the quarterfinal stage of the competition, it means you have a strong team. And these are typical Western region and Central region teams. Elmina Sharks in Central region and Mediema, Samatex in the Western region. That is where Skyy FC find themselves.
Yeah,
so to have those territorial dominance over these powerful teams when it comes to Ghana football, it means you have a strong team. And playing at home, they are very stubborn side. Especially the Skyy FC team, when they are playing at home, very difficult to break. This time round, they were going away to Skyy to face Bofoakwa Tano. Bofoakwa Tano, too, when you look at their route to the quarterfinal stage, only one game that had been played outside Skyy. They played against Betchemi in Skyy. And I think Oxford too was played in Skyy. Apart from the Power FC team, that is the team that went away to meet them. So it tells you they are very strong when they are playing at home. So most of the times, Obi Obenya the luck of the draw, ball game home no. You have slight advantage qualified ahead of the other one. And I think that is the reason why it looks like Bofoakwa Tano will have the slight edge over the Skyy FC team. But watch out for Skyy FC. This game could be like yesterday's game. To travel beyond the 90 minutes and move to extra time because they have similar kind of performance in the FA Cup and their team have prepared very well for this particular stage of the competition.
So Bofoakwa Tano are finalists in the FA Cup. They were finalists in 1983 there, but they could not win that one. So we take a quick break here on our start times at the Patch Channel 247. We are building up to that quarter-final MTN FA Cup game between Bofoakwa and Skyy FC at the Sunyane Coronation Park. We'll be right back.
They're saying they are going to be beating you by 2 goals to them. It can't be possible.
We've done it before. We've beaten them twice already. We've equipped them for the title, and they are coming with a certain level of vengeance, clearly. And what it means is that we need to double up and buckle up.
If it is MTN FA Cup match, Obia Nyobia.
And you had your brother from Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Exactly.
They're saying they're going to be beating you by 2 goals to them.
It can be possible.
We've done it before. We've beaten them twice already. We've equipped them for the title, and they are coming with a certain level of vengeance, clearly. And what it means is that we need to double up and buckle up.
If it is MTN FA Cup match, Obia Nyobia.
It is the MTN FA Cup, and today we'll be at the Sunyani Coronation Park for this big quarter-final clash between Bofoakwa, Tano, and of course Skyy FC. But the officials for today have been confirmed, and referee Charles Bulu would be in the center and at the helm of affairs, assisted by Kwesi Brobe, Emmanuel Dolagbanu, and of course Abdul Latif Kader, who will be the fourth referee. The venue is the Sunyani Coronation Park, so big one there. Referee Charles Bulu, a very experienced figure when it comes to refereeing in Ghana, so we're expecting him to do a very, very clean job at the Sunyani Coronation Park. Big motivation for Bofoakwa and of course for Skyy FC, because there's a semi-final berth at stake for them. So the quarter-final game between Bofoakwa and Skyy FC is what we are looking forward to. But looking at all the teams that have qualified for the quarter-finals, bar in Swaterman, who made it to the semi-final yesterday, I feel that Dreams FC will be the biggest motivators now going into the quarterfinals, knowing that they are testing a CAF Champions League, CAF Confederation Cup football, and they know how important it is to play at that level. They say Aziz Issa, we know him on the African continent, so I'm sure I'm going to be the biggest motivators in this round of games.
Yeah, I think they are playing today.
Yeah, against Stade Malien.
4 or 5.
I don't know the time, but against Stade Malien today.
So let's wish them good luck in today's game. You know, they are my favorites to win the MTN FA Cup, to retain the title because of their experience in winning the trophy and what they've done in the interclub competition. When you look at the 4 teams in the there's 8 teams in the quarterfinal stage. Dreams FC, Bofo, they are ahead of most of these teams. But I think the Dreams FC team, by what I've seen around them, they are the favorites. But you know, it's something that motivates them to do well in Africa, and they have great players coming out of the FA Cup to show their talent in the CAF Confederations Cup. When you look at this Bofoakwa team, they have some 1 or 2 players who have done well so far in the Premier League. We are talking about their captain Saka Dauda and some of these players in the Bofoakwa team, and they are facing a tricky side whom one year monitoring them from afar to know their strength and weakness is going to be difficult unless you watch their previous games that they've been playing so far. And that is the reason why people need to watch out this particular Skyy FC team. And they've been motivated by the Wasnata, who is the chairman of the MTN FA Cup. So it tells you he knows what it means to get into this stage, and he has motivated the players to get the best out of them in recent times in some of their games they've been playing in the FA Cup. So it made this particular game crucial for them. But I think the Bofoakwa team playing at home have the slight advantage over the Skyy FC team.
So Bofoakwa Tano there coming down from their bus, that is how they made their way to the Sunyani Coronation Park. I just saw Elisha Adai also coming down from the bus there. Big one for them, and John Eduafo is aware of what this means to the people of Sunyani should they qualify for the semi-final. 16 years of being away, Bofo is back into the top flight football, and this time it is the FA Cup. But Skyy FC, this is their dressing room as well. They would be coming into this one, Albert, as underdogs, but they can bite.
I don't really see them as underdogs. This is a very consistent side playing against an inconsistent side, which is Bofoakwa, Tano. So I see this game as match of equals. It's unfortunate one is in the Premier League and one is in the Division 1 league. But you see, like my brother Riley said, this is the team that belongs to the FA Cup committee chairman, and yes, he understands what the FA Cup is made of, and I believe that's even a bigger motivation for the players to know that their chairman is the chairman of the FA Cup, and it will be a very big motivation for them to win the FA Cup to give some level of credence to the kind of effort their chairman is making. Look at how he has branded the FA Cup. He has put in much effort to make it very, very lucrative. I mean, it's so beautiful watching from afar,
yeah.
And I think Mr. Wusinata has done so well when it comes to the FA Cup. I just hope that the kind of energy and the kind of spirit he has put in the FA Cup, he's putting the same thing in his club, which is Skyy FC. And today, I think it's a big opportunity for them to tell the world that they are really made of something huge, and they are ready to display them today. But for Tano, we'll have the home advantage. Okay, we'll have the fans behind them. They are very familiar with the turf, familiar with the atmosphere and the environment. But this is football. That's why it's the FA Cup. Anything can happen today. Just as the likes of Nani and Co have they blazed the trail when it came to the FA Cup. I believe Skyy FC can also do that.
Albert, you are closer to players and player management and teams. You've worked with teams before. How difficult is it to play a side that you have little information about? I'm sure Skyy FC knows all about Bofoakwa Tano because they've been seeing them on TV. Thanks to Star Times bringing the Ghana Premier League to the doorstep of many. But I'm not sure. Yes, I'm not sure Bofo have information on Skyy FC because hardly do you find the Division 1 league on our screens.
That's why it is incumbent on every club, being in Division 1 or Premier, to have a scout. To have a scouting team who will be observers and give you reports. And I believe they are monitoring the Zone 2 league. I'm not sure for Quarterfinals that's all monitor the league, because where would they get the players to recruit? These are avenues to recruit players. So you should be monitoring the Division 1 league to see which of the best players coming up. And I believe, since they are the same FA Cup with them and they know the roadmap, the roadmap was given.
Yeah.
I mean, the team that you meet going forward and all that. So they knew that they are likely to meet Skyy FC. So I expected them to have a standby coach who act as a scout to go around, watch Skyy FC matches and monitor their strengths and weaknesses. I think this is incumbent on any club, not only Bofoakwa, and I believe they have done so. But the fact that the Premier side should give them a 50% edge because they have a more, tougher atmosphere or competition than the Division 1. Even though we call the Division 1 the soccer wilderness, it's called the soccer wilderness not because of the highly competitive nature, but it's how difficult it is to grind results.
Yeah.
Especially with the off the ball incidents. There are some venues you go there. You see strange things in the dressing room. Sometimes you see supporters throwing up,
Yeah.
Supporters throw up to your player. No, that, and these are the things that were done in the Division 1 league. So the Premier League has a comparatively better competition for Bofoakwa to ride on to win today's game.
Okay.
When you go to some of these zones, they have some quite quality teams in the Division 1 team. They have quality players the same as
that was what I was about asking you, because you speak to Mr. Osenata, the president of Skyy FC, and he will tell you that his players are as good as Premier League players everywhere in Ghana. He says that his team, the only difference between his team and the likes of Kotoko is that he's not playing in the Premier League, but the quality that he has can equally fill in those teams.
In the last 3 years, Mutala, there's not a big gap between Premier League players and Division 1 players.
Why do you say so?
Because players move from Division 1, even enters the big teams in the Premier League and command first 11.
Yes.
Let's go to the House of Folk team. One of their brightest spots is Martin Kakari.
Yes.
Last season, he was playing in Division 1.
Yeah.
He's a key player to them now.
For Asekem.
Yeah.
For Asekem.
Even Issa, their striker.
I'm talking about
Hamza was playing the Division 2 league with Aruras. But he's the highest scorer for Accra.
Obviously. A key player. Kelvin Osiesibe, one of the best players, defenders in Division 1 last season, now playing for House of Folk.
Yeah.
Winnie, one of the best players in Division 1, for I think Akiti United, now playing for House of Folk. Go to Asante Kotoko. We were talking about this midfielder, the injury now affected Asante Kotoko, Sharik Mohammed. He was playing for Stefan 2 seasons ago. He joined Asante Kotoko. He has won the Premier League, a key player now.
Even Peter Amid was playing Park Academy.
Peter Amid was playing for Park Academy. Now a key player for Asante Kotoko.
Yes.
So there is no big gap between players playing in the Premier League nowadays
at all
and the players playing in the Division 1. We were talking about Baba Hamadu Hissa, who was one of the top scorers in Division 1. Now the main striker for Samates.
Exactly.
The player who scored 2 goals against House of Folk last week against Samates.
Ivan Sosewusu
was playing for
Tama Youth.
Just 2 seasons ago.
So that was his first time of playing in the Premier League.
Obviously. So there is no big gap between players playing in Division 1 and playing in the Premier League.
It's just a platform, the change of platform
and exposure.
That's all.
So players in Division 1 on a big platform like this they know it's on TV. They would like to showcase their talent to the world for people to know Skyy FC have gotten quality players who can compete in the Premier League. Premier League side nowadays will enter into Division 1, buy key players. You know, yesterday we saw Marcelo Ajimakito. He moved to Asante Kotoko from a Division 1.
From Mighty Royals.
Mighty Royals. From a Division 1 side. So, players from Division 1 nowadays, not like it used to be a Kotoko. Ben Ajin say, over top players are not performing in the Premier League, that will be the players who will go for.
Just
in Division 1 players, Division 2, Isaac Opon Neymar. Sunyani Neymar. From Division 1, Division 2. Destiny Fuapa. From Division 1, Division 2. These are all players are in the Premier League side. So there is no big gap like it used to be those days from players playing the Division 1 and players playing the Premier League. So Skyy FC players would demonstrate good football today at the Sunyani Coronation Park.
And you think some of the Skyy FC players can easily walk into this Bofoakwa team?
Most of them will enter into the team with the needed exposure and good motivation, and they will play. I'm
asking that because Albert said the level of quality at the Premier League level is it's a bit higher than that of the Division 1. Maybe Sasa say.
I think it's all about the league, but individual.
It's a competition I meant, like
the competition rather, not the quality.
Not the quality.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because if you look at the players, some players in Division 1 are even better than players in the Premier League.
Really?
Yes. If like I told you, because I work with players, sometimes that's why I told you, even when some players were in the Division 1 league, I knew they were better than some players in the Premier League. For example, Frederick Asari, I knew he was a better keeper than even some of the Premier League players. All he needed was a platform to exhibit his talent. Not only him, I recommended Amza Issa, the Haas Aras. I watched their middle league and I told the Haas people, please, this guy is better than some of the players I have. I don't want to mention some players who were striking for Haas folk. It's not fair. But I saw that this very young guy is far better than the current players, the current strikers Haas were using. And when you tried him as their main striker,
now he's their top scorer.
He has even scored goals more than players more than strikers who have stayed in Haas for 4 years. Just one season, he has accumulated goals and as for players who have stayed there for more than 4 years.
Albert, I'll come back to you, but on your screen is there it's a Bofoakwa Tano and how they are warming up for the big game. It would kick off in a few minutes' time. It is Bofoakwa against Skyy FC, a very, very important game for both sides. As I told you, in the round of 64, Bofoakwa defeated Oxford by 3-0 before defeating Brecum City by 1-0 in the round of 32. And in the round of 16, they also beat Wa Power by 1-0. Their coach is John Edua for Skyy FC. Also, I will tell you about them. But let's go there and have a listen to the two managers.
The MTN FA Cup offers Bofoakwa Tano an opportunity to show what they are made of. It's a tournament that every club that participates in wants to get to the very end, the very top, which is the final. So far, you have made it up to the quarterfinals. What stage is the team in terms of annexing a win today?
Thank you very much. This afternoon, the team is well prepared and our focus is to play a very good game today and win at the end. That is the ultimate and that is the objective for my team this afternoon. We are prepared and want to play a good football and win at the end.
Performance in the Ghana Premier League may not augur well for Bofoakwa in terms of your performance this season. A team that started very well in the first half or the first round. What should we look out for in terms of the approach to the game?
In regards to today's game,
yes,
an attacking-minded game, good defensive work by the entire team, a lot of excessive aspect of it, and then a goal to score at the end. That is what we are looking out for.
Coach, finally, before I let you go, what should we look out for in your approach to today's game?
Just as I rightly said, we want to defend very well. We want to possess the game and want to score at the end. That is the
Skyy FC and the MTN FA Cup are more like a family. This is about the third time you've gotten to this stage of the competition. This year, what will be the difference as you try and edge your way towards the final? What's the difference?
Thank you very much. A lot of preparation was put in before reaching this stage. You know, last year we ended up at the semi-finals. And so, if nothing at all, we just want to repeat same or go to the finals, but not to remain at the quarterfinals.
I see. Okay. How has the performance been per your standards? You play in Division 1. It's a very, very tough division. How has it been so far?
Since I took over, it has been up and down. I may say there were matches that we feel we could have won, but we drew at home, went to away, won, come back to home, and then drew again, which was very bad because we lose almost about 5 points within 4 matches, which was very bad. We are now working on a lot of strategies. You know, I'm a new coach there. They were in a different system. My system was a little bit variation from them, but I try to let them know my philosophy so that we will, the subsequent matches we can move on.
I see. Okay. Now that they have been able to graduate into your philosophy, what kind of approach will we see Skyy FC adopt today?
Today we'll be playing 4-2-3-1. We'll be in a little bit defensive. So then we take them on. We will sit, soak the pressure, and then take them on. We will be operating from the flanks as normal because our strength lies in the flanks. So you will see a lot of ball switching to the flanks during the transitional period.
Okay. Coach, we wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Christian Loco is the head coach of Skyy FC and very confident that his side would actually upset their opponent, that is Bofoakwa Tano. But John Eduafo also says that despite the fact that things are not moving smoothly for them in the Ghana Premier League, they have their eye set firmly on the FA Cup and they are going for the kill. Albert, this is going to be an interesting one. Both managers are brimming with confidence.
Yes, it's good to have the confidence to play. I'm happy hearing our coaches speak before matches, and I was happy with Mr. Luku. I love the way he was telling us about his system. For me, I think the era of Nyamibe is over.
It's long gone.
Yes, it's over. We have to be very scientific and then go straight to the point. He said he's going with a 4-2-3-1 formation, and he was talking about philosophy, how he came to meet a different philosophy, and he's trying to change their philosophies. I think it's good for our game. They have gone, through a lot of matches before getting here. I want to see a very good game. Eduafo, I've known him for many years, having coached a lot of clubs. I've been assisted Kotoko, coach Kotoku Royals. I think he has what it takes to win the game.
Okay, so it's that time that we cross over to the Sunyani Coronation Park for the first half. It is Bofoakwa taking on Skyy FC. Enjoy.
Hello everyone and thanks for joining us. We are coming to you from the Skyy Coronation Park. It's MTN FA Cup action, and this afternoon it's a quarter-final tie between the home side Bofoakwa Tano Football Club